What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. Hey, I'm Grace.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And a huge warm welcome to all of our English learners tuning in right now.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
Before we jump into anything, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and, definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below. We love reading them.
Always.
So today, we're settling in for a really special deep dive. I kind of want you to imagine we're just hanging out, maybe drinking coffee at a cozy little cafe on a rainy day.
Oh, that's a great vibe.
Right. Just relaxed, warm, and focus on something really important, which is your journey of learning. We're setting up this cozy atmosphere specifically because learning a language is, it's often the exact opposite of relaxing.
Yeah, it's incredibly stressful, like high-stakes stressful.
Completely.
Yeah.
And we're diving into some fantastic materials today from the A2 to B1 English After Rain curriculum. Specifically, we're unpacking their modules on persistence, consistency, and how to actually tackle the difficult realities of acquiring a new language.
Which is so needed.
Because, let's be real, time is the most valuable resource we have.
Exactly.
Right? And because time is so incredibly precious, we naturally just hate wasting it on things that don't yield immediate results. Like, if we spend 2 hours studying phrasal verbs, we want to know those verbs perfectly the next day.
Oh, for sure. You want your time to equal success, not failure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the curriculum we're looking at today demands that we completely rethink what a setback actually is. The source material points out this pretty brutal reality.
What's that?
Well, it says people often quit after their very first major failure. They freeze up in a conversation or fail a proficiency exam, and they instantly jump to the conclusion that they just lack the genetic talent to learn English.
Wow. Which, by the way, fundamentally misinterprets how the human brain processes new information.
Wait, really? How so?
Yeah, I mean, we are totally conditioned by traditional schooling to view failure as a terminal endpoint. You know, like a big red F on a test that tells you you aren't enough.
Oh, totally. The worst feeling.
But the curriculum redefines this entirely. Failure is not the opposite of success, and it certainly is an indicator of your intelligence or, your luck.
Right.
Biologically speaking, it's simply evidence that you were trying something challenging. It provides critical information on what needs improvement.
Okay. I hear you on the science part, but let's connect this to the reality of the English learners watching right now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because, it doesn't just feel like a neutral data point in the moment. Think about the baby analogy the material brings up.
Oh, I love this analogy.
Right. A baby learning to walk falls down 100 times a day.
Yeah.
They stumble, hit the carpet, get back up, and literally no one expects perfect, steady steps on the first try.
Right. You'd never yell at a baby for falling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here is where I really want to push back on our own psychology. Why are we so quick to give babies that grace? But as adults, our egos are so unbelievably fragile.
That is a great question.
We expect to instantly master new, highly complex things like English grammar or difficult vocabulary on the first try. And when we don't, we just want to quit.
Yeah, and the difference really comes down to identity and cognitive load.
Identity.
Yeah, so an infant doesn't have a pre-existing identity to protect. They don't have a concept of being competent or professional.
Oh, that makes sense.
But as an adult, you already have a fully formed map of the world. You might be, a highly skilled engineer or a great parent or an experienced manager in your native language.
Right, you're used to navigating the world with authority.
Exactly. So when you try to speak English and suddenly you sound like a 5-year-old, struggling to find really basic words, it feels like a direct threat to your adult identity.
Wow, that makes so much sense. You kind of feel like you're losing your personality.
You do.
It's incredibly embarrassing to know exactly what you want to say in your head, but the words are just getting stuck in your throat.
Yeah.
You feel that heat rising in your face during a business meeting, and your brain just shuts down.
And tying this back to the English learners watching, the reality is that improvement in language learning can feel excruciatingly slow.
Oh, painfully slow.
But every single lesson, every clumsy conversation, every 20-minute practice session where you feel embarrassed is actively contributing to your future success.
So every mistake is basically building the foundation.
Exactly. It's giving your brain the exact data it needs.
Okay, so if we accept that failure is a normal part of the process, and we have to push past that adult ego, how do we keep moving forward when those failures happen and we feel terrible?
Yeah, that's the big hurdle.
Because it's one thing to know it's good for you, but it still stings. And this brings us to a massive trap outlined in the sources, which is relying on motivation.
Oh, yeah, the motivation trap.
I was actually super surprised at the source's bluntness here. It states clearly that motivation is temporary. It will abandon you.
It really will. We tend to put motivation on a pedestal, right?
Totally. We watch an inspiring YouTube video or imagine ourselves speaking fluent English in a cafe in London, and we get this huge rush of enthusiasm.
And we think that feeling is what's going to carry us to fluency.
But the text points out that motivation vanishes the literal second you are tired or distracted or you get a bad night of sleep.
Right, because motivation is just an emotion.
Exactly. If your goals depend entirely on motivation, you will abandon them.
Yeah, and what the sources argue for instead is building a system of consistency.
A system? I like that.
They use a really brilliant comparison to illustrate this. Imagine two people. Person A relies entirely on motivation. They work extremely hard for a few days, study English for 5 hours a day, cram hundreds of words, watch a dozen grammar videos.
Okay.
And then they burn out. The motivation crashes and they quit. They literally don't look at English again for a month.
Yikes. Meanwhile, you have person B, who makes small, steady improvements every single day. Just 20 minutes of listening to a podcast or reviewing flashcards. And the compounding effort of person B always wins over several months.
Always. Person B completely obliterates person A in terms of actual fluency.
You know, it's kind of like, here's my own analogy for this. Motivation is like a flashy sugar rush, but consistency is the actual nutritious meal that sustains you.
Oh, I love that. That's exactly it.
You eat a candy bar, you get a massive spike of energy, you feel invincible, but an hour later you crash. The nutritious meal isn't as flashy, but it actually builds your body.
Yeah, and this consistent daily effort builds something else that the text emphasizes heavily, which is trust and skill.
Trust and skill. How so?
Well, the sources point out that repetition builds physical and mental skills. Like, musicians don't master an instrument by playing a song perfectly once.
Right, they practice daily.
Exactly. Athletes train systematically. Creators learn from feedback. And furthermore, repeated actions build trust in every area of life.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Employers trust reliable workers, audiences trust regular creators, and friends trust people who keep their promises.
So showing up consistently for your English practice is essentially building that kind of reliability.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's pause for a second. It's very easy for us to sit behind these microphones and say, just be consistent.
Fair point.
But how do we maintain momentum when we're putting in the daily work, but the results aren't immediately visible? Like, you're putting in the 20 minutes, but you turn on a movie and still can't understand it without subtitles.
Yeah, that is so frustrating.
How does someone stick to the system then?
That is where the sources introduce the necessity of patience.
Patience. The hardest part.
Seriously. We live in a world that demands immediate success, right? But meaningful growth takes time. The source compares it to a tree.
Oh, tree.
Yeah, a tree needs time to grow a massive root system underground before you ever see it get significantly taller above ground. Progress happens quietly before it becomes obvious.
That is such a crucial visual. Progress happens quietly. But waiting for those roots to grow is still really hard.
It is.
Thankfully, the text outlines some exact solutions to overcome this hurdle.
What do they suggest?
So the first strategy is to stop trying to completely transform your life in a month. Instead, commit to small daily actions.
Impossibly small. Right.
Yes. Read just a few pages. Learn literally several new words. Practice listening for 10 minutes. Small wins reduce mental resistance.
Which is huge because huge goals just trigger procrastination.
Exactly. And the second actionable strategy from the text is to meticulously track your progress.
Oh, tracking is so important.
Because recording your actions creates accountability. It proves to yourself that you're actually moving forward, even on those really slow days.
Yeah, when your brain lies to you and says you've done nothing, you can look at the tracker and say, actually, I showed up.
Right. And speaking of dealing with the struggle, I want to share the idiom of the day that comes straight from the channel sources for our English learners.
Oh, let's hear it.
The idiom is, keep your chin up. It means to stay positive during a difficult situation. And the exact example they provide in the text is, things are difficult now, but keep your chin up.
Keep your chin up. I like the physical imagery there.
Me too. When we feel defeated, our body language collapses, right?
Yeah.
But keeping your chin up forces your posture to open up.
And that actually ties into what the text says about combating negativity.
Oh.
Yeah, it emphasizes the danger of negative thoughts after a setback. Instead of focusing on not being, good enough. You have to focus purely on learning.
So pivoting the mindset.
Exactly. And the source also stresses that you should lean on family, friends, teachers, and mentors.
Community is everything.
It really is. Sometimes just one positive conversation gives you the strength to continue.
It normalizes the struggle. You realize you aren't the only one finding this difficult.
For sure.
So as we pull all of these threads together, what is the ultimate message of this deep dive?
Let's summarize it.
I think it's this. If something does not work today, it must run tomorrow.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Adjust your strategy, learn from the mistake, and refuse to quit. Tomorrow always offers a new chance.
It's all about relentless iteration.
Exactly. So, to all our English learners out there, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share in the comments right now which small daily habit you're going to start tracking.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
We want to hear from you. And remember, we upload new deep dives every Sunday and Tuesday, so we will be back soon.
And as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over that builds on the text.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear it.
So the sources mention that consistency builds trust with employers, audiences, and friends, right?
Right.
But perhaps the most profound hidden benefit of showing up to practice your English every single day, especially on the days you really want to quit, is that it builds an unshakable trust with yourself.
Wow. Trust with yourself.
Yeah. You finally prove to yourself that you are someone who keeps the promises you make to your own future.
That is so powerful. See you next time, guys. Keep learning.